because I like that the most, and I think looks nice also. But also when you're making cakes, on the half of the cake you can put also some fruits. Now I'll do something like this. First, if you want to serve as a cupcake, you can just keep in the paper around, or even you can remove the paper, but when you're doing that, just do it slowly, that you don't damage the cake. And when you have something like this, you'll get this what I got already. It means now I shall just put pie filling on the top. I do this with a spoon. Of course, it's nice to have a lot of fruits on the top. And I'll put on each of them. Even if some cake break in meantime in the oven, it will happen probably. Don't worry, because when it's cooling, it will come together. That is the luck with this cake, not with other cakes. It means don't try the chance with other cakes, the same one. Okay, and some of them you can leave just without fruits, because some people likes without fruits. You can choose. I have some blueberry topping, what I shall mix first. Then I shall just put a little bit to decorate the plate, just like this. Then again I can put a spoon of blueberries on the top, and we are getting cake. It means if you like to have the cake to be like a cake, not cupcake, you just remove the paper cup. If you like to serve like this, that people don't have dirty fingers after, you can just serve like this and with the blueberries on the top. Or for people who doesn't like fruits, just do like this. And this is our small cheesecake. Enjoy it.
Buscando como un loco por el mundo, y si ya no aguanto un segundo, alguien venga, dígamelo ya, si la miro por aquí o la miro por allá, porque la busco, yo la busco y no la encuentro, ya yo quiero que llegue ese momento en que yo le pueda decir que sin ti mi vida no puedo vivir.
We finish our beautiful, cute, small cheesecake. I love it. And now, of course, who will try first? Me. And it's a beautiful one. And just to tell you, I really enjoy cooking with you, and you just enjoy watching Good Morning Sri Lanka. See you soon. I'm Mitzi, and next time we shall have some sweets or savories, but I hope we shall enjoy together again.
We actually demonstrate the skills to you, and for that I have assistant Elga. Thank you. Right, so first we're going to show you the skill of how to deal with a casualty who is a child and is showing signs of choking. Elga's going to demonstrate the actual skill. First, before we do any of these maneuvers, it's important for us to be absolutely sure that the child is choking and that there's a complete blockage, that they're not able to breathe. So when we do that, we look at the child, and typically the child will be opening their mouth like they're trying to breathe, and they may be trying to cough. But when they're coughing, no sound is coming. The typical cough sound just isn't coming, and that means that there's no air able to move in and out of the lungs. So when we see those signs, then we know that there's a complete blockage and that we need to take action. So Elga here is demonstrating the position that we get into to treat a child. We get down to the same level as the child. You can see that he's supporting the front of the child with one hand and then leaning the child forward. Then what he's going to do is what we call back blows. He's actually going to use the palm of his hand to hit the child on the back, right between the two shoulder blades. So you can see here Elga is demonstrating the back blow. That is, that you can see that he's quite forcefully hitting the child with the palm of his hand to try and push the blockage out. We do that up to 5 times, and then if that has not worked, then we're going to move on to a different move. The other move is called abdominal thrusts. So Elga's going to show the hand positioning for that. We make a fist and we place that above the child's belly button, but below the rib cage. He's then grasping that fist with his other hand, and then he's now going to demonstrate these quite forceful thrusting inwards and upwards, which is putting that high pressure to force air out of the lungs and push the object that's blocking out. You can see that those movements appear quite violent, and this is the kind of amount of force which is needed to do this properly. The issue that we have is that, of course, this type of movement may cause some damage, and that's why it's so important that we only do this in somebody who we know has got a complete blockage to their ability to breathe. Now that we have seen the emergency action steps for how to deal with a child who is choking, let's move on to see how we would deal with a baby. Helga here will now use the baby mannequin to demonstrate the techniques. They're a little different from those that we use for a child. The first one is also called back blows, but you can see that Helga is holding the baby across his forearm, and then he's leaning his forearm onto his leg. You could use a table or chair, but it needs to be firmly held in place. He's then going to use the heel of his hand to do the blows between the shoulder blades again onto the back of the child. He's going to strike the baby 5 times. He's looking in the baby's mouth to see if the object has been expelled. Then he's going to turn the baby over, hold the baby again on his forearm, bracing his arm on his leg, and he's going to do 5 chest thrusts. So with 2 fingers only, he's thrusting onto the chest to expel that air and push out the object that's blocking the baby's throat. So now that we have seen the skills that we need to deal with a baby who's choking, we're going to look at how we would deal with an adult. We're going to bring in Kirk, who's going to demonstrate for us, but I just want you to be certain that we're not actually going to be doing the thrusts on Kirk. As I mentioned before, that can be dangerous. Okay, so Kirk, if we can imagine the scene, that he's sitting and eating his lunch, and he's talking, and suddenly he starts to choke. He might look something like this, maybe holding his throat. That's quite a common posture in people who are choking. He's trying to cough, but you can't hear any sound of coughing because there's complete blockage. He can't move any air in or out of his lungs. Now Elga is going to demonstrate how he's going to do back blows, holding him at the front, leaning him forward, and then striking him from the back between the shoulder blades. He's going to strike him 5 times. And then he's going to move around to behind him, put his arms encircling him. If you remember, the fist on the middle of the stomach above the belly button, and he's not actually going to thrust, but in this position he would then thrust inwards and upwards to try to expel the object. And hopefully, if that works, then the object that he's choking on comes out, and you can congratulate yourself that you have saved a life. Thank you, Elga and Kirk, for your help. And we just want to give you a summary of what we've been talking about this morning. Firstly, that if somebody is choking, they're showing those signs of choking, like we showed, of grasping their throat, and they're trying to cough, but you can't hear any coughing sound. That means that that person has a complete blockage to their airway, and what we need to do is take immediate action to relieve that blockage. We've seen a few different skills depending on whether somebody is an adult, child, or a baby, and each of those skills is designed to expel air out of the lungs and therefore push the blockage out of the throat. We emphasized the importance of only doing so in this extreme emergency because of the dangers of causing an injury to somebody. You've seen the skills, and we've explained to you the procedures that you need to take. But it's very important that everybody should have a hands-on practice of those skills. So I would encourage you not just to see this show, but to go and sign up for a first aid class. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next week.